My dear friends, in life, you can be the most delicious mango in the world, but there will always be someone who hates mangoes. So if people can dislike even mangoes, how much more easily can they dislike you? The truth is, disrespect is not always about you. Sometimes it's just about them. And that's why, when someone disrespects you, the most powerful thing you can do is simply ignore them. My dear friends, have you ever walked down a street and suddenly a dog starts barking at you? Now tell me honestly, do you stop there, sit down with the dog and start arguing? Do you bark back? Do you say, "Excuse me, Mr. Dog, I disagree with your barking"? Of course not. You simply keep walking because you know that's what dogs do. They bark. And your life is too precious to waste proving yourself to a barking dog. In the same way, people will bark at you in life, not literally, but through their words, their sarcasm, their insults, their disrespect. The question is, will you stop your journey, your growth, your happiness, just to respond to their barking? Or will you continue walking towards your destination? If we stopped at every bark, my dear friends, we would never reach where we're meant to go. Imagine a traveler walking to a holy temple. Every few steps, a dog barks and the traveler stops to argue. By the time he reaches the temple, the doors are closed. Similarly, if you waste your energy reacting to every person who disrespects you, by the time you focus on your dreams, opportunities may already be gone. So, the wise learn to ignore. Ignoring doesn't mean you are weak. It means you are strong enough to say, "I choose not to be disturbed by noise." If a barking dog can't disturb your walk, why allow a disrespectful person to disturb your peace? Always remember this. When dogs bark at the moon doesn't come down to explain itself. The moon keeps shining. And that's exactly what you and I must do. Let them bark. You keep shining. My dear friends, let's reflect on something very important. When someone disrespects us, our natural impulse is to react instantly. Why? Because the ego inside us whispers, "How dare they say this to me? I must give it back." But pause for a moment. When you react, you are not punishing them. You are fueling the fire. Think about this. Fire cannot survive without oxygen. The moment you supply oxygen, the flames rise higher, stronger, hotter. And when you take the oxygen away, what happens? The fire weakens, slowly dies out. Disrespect is like that fire. The moment we react with anger, shouting, or even bitterness inside our mind, we are supplying oxygen to the very flame we want to extinguish. I'll share a simple example. Imagine two people fighting. One says something harsh. The other stays quiet. What happens? The first person gets tired after a while. His words lose power. But if the second person also shouts back, louder and louder, then what began as a small spark turns into a full forest fire. Who suffers then? Both of them. Both lose their peace, their dignity, and sometimes even their relationship. You see, my dear friends, not every action needs a reaction. Sometimes the greatest strength is not in responding, but in restraining. When you choose not to react, you are not showing weakness. You are showing wisdom. You are saying, "I am in charge of my peace, and no one else can control it." That is true power. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, "But if I don't react, won't they think I'm weak? Won't they think I'm afraid?" Let me ask you a question. Does the ocean lose its greatness because it doesn't respond to every drop of rain? No. The ocean knows its depth, and it doesn't need to prove it. In the same way, when you know your worth, you don't need to prove it to anyone. Your silence speaks louder than any words of argument. I remember once meeting a gentleman who said, I lost my peace because of one insult. I asked him, how long did the insult last? He said, maybe 10 seconds. Then I asked, and how long have you been replaying it in your mind? He said, for 2 years. Think about it, my friends. 10 seconds of disrespect, but 2 years of suffering. Not because of the insult, but because he kept reacting to it in his mind. The fire kept burning because he kept supplying oxygen. So the real question we must ask ourselves is, am I willing to give my precious peace, my valuable energy, my limited time, just to prove myself to someone who is not even thinking about me? When you react, you let them win. When you ignore, you rise above. And that rising above is not arrogance, it is freedom. The next time someone disrespects you, pause, breathe, smile gently if you can, and walk away knowing this. Reacting makes them bigger in your life. Ignoring makes you bigger in your own life. And remember, oxygen can either fuel the fire, or it can be saved for your own breath, your own life, your own growth. Choose wisely. My dear friends, silence is one of the most misunderstood powers in the world. People often think silence means weakness. Silence means surrender. Silence means you couldn't come up with a smart reply. But the truth is, silence is sometimes the loudest answer you can ever give. Think about it. When someone disrespects you, they are waiting, just waiting for your reaction. They want to see you angry. They want to see you shaken. They want to see you lose control. Your reaction is their victory. But when you remain silent, when you keep your dignity intact, you confuse them. You take away the fuel they were waiting for. They wonder, why is he not responding? Why is she not fighting back? And that, my friends, is where silence speaks louder than any words. I'll share a little story. Once a wise man was invited to a gathering. In that gathering, one jealous person stood up and began to insult him, calling him names, mocking his teachings, and even questioning his integrity. The entire audience became restless. They thought, surely the wise man will respond now. Surely he will defend himself. But the wise man sat there, calm and composed, saying nothing. After some time, the jealous person ran out of words. He became red with anger and eventually sat down, defeated by his own noise. Later, the wise man said, if someone hands you a gift and you refuse to accept it, to whom does the gift belong? To the giver. Insults are the same. If I don't accept them, they remain with the one who gave them. Isn't that powerful? Silence doesn't mean you didn't hear it. Silence means you refuse to accept the poison. Why drink it when you know it will only harm you? Now, I want you to imagine this. Suppose someone throws a stone in a calm lake. What happens? Ripples appear. But if no stone is thrown, the water remains still, reflecting the sky like a mirror. Our mind is like that lake. Disrespectful words are like stones. If you keep responding to every stone, your peace will always be disturbed. But if you practice silence, the lake of your mind remains calm, and you can reflect wisdom, kindness, and clarity. Some of you may be thinking, but if I stay silent, won't people take advantage of me? My dear friends, silence is not about letting people walk over you. Silence is about choosing when to speak and when not to. There is a difference between silence out of fear and silence out of strength. Silence out of fear is weakness. Silence out of strength is wisdom. The first makes you a victim. The second makes you a master. There's a saying, even a fish would stay out of trouble if it kept its mouth shut. Many conflicts in this world, many broken relationships, many lifelong grudges could have been avoided if one person had chosen silence at the right moment. Not forever, not always, but at the right moment. because silence cools down the heat of the moment, and later, when the time is right, your words can be spoken with calmness and clarity. I'll tell you something personal. In my own life, there were moments when people said harsh things to me. My heart wanted to react instantly, but I chose silence. And do you know what happened? After some time, those very people came back, softened, even ashamed of their own words. If I had fought back, they would have fought harder. But because I stayed silent, they fought only with their own conscience. And let me tell you, the human conscience is the strongest opponent one can ever face. So the next time someone disrespects you, remember this: silence doesn't mean they won. Silence means you refuse to play their game. Silence means you rose above. Silence means you are more interested in your peace than in their opinion. And in the end, my dear friends, peace is the greatest victory you can ever achieve. My dear friends, let us pause and think about this. What is the most valuable possession you have? Is it money? No, because money can be lost and earned again. Is it relationships? They are important, but people come and go. The most valuable possession you have is your peace of mind. If your mind is restless, no amount of money can make you happy. If your mind is disturbed, even the best relationships will feel heavy. Peace is the foundation of everything else in life. Without peace, nothing feels good. With peace, even little things feel wonderful. Now here is the tragedy. Most of us are ready to trade our peace for the cheapest things. A few disrespectful words, and we lose our peace for hours, days, even months. Someone gives us a dirty look, and we carry it in our heart like a wound. Someone gossips about us, and we replay their words again and again in our mind, as if it were a song on repeat. Isn't it strange? We claim peace is precious, but we give it away so easily. Let me give you an example. Imagine you had a golden watch. Would you hand it over to a stranger who mocks you? No, you would guard it with care, but peace of mind is far more precious than gold, and yet we hand it over so cheaply. One insult, and we give away our peace. One disrespectful gesture, and we lose sleep. Tell me, is that fair to yourself? Is someone's opinion worth more than your inner calm? Friends, we must learn this: our peace is greater than their opinion. If a person disrespects you, it only reveals their character, not yours. Why should you let their lack of manners disturb your inner balance? Why should you let their storm destroy your sunshine? Just because the clouds cover the sky, does the sun stop shining? No, the sun is still there, bright as ever, beyond the clouds. Your peace is like that sun. It should remain constant, even if others throw clouds of negativity over you. There's a saying, when an elephant walks through the market, dogs may bark, but the elephant keeps walking. Why? Because the elephant knows its size, its strength, its dignity. It doesn't lower itself to argue with every bark. In the same way, when you know your worth, you don't allow others' disrespect to drag you down. You value your peace more than their noise. I once met a young man who told me, I get so disturbed when people criticize me. I can't eat, I can't sleep. I keep thinking about what they said. I asked him, tell me, when you go to the market to buy fruits, do you taste every rotten fruit that is offered? He laughed and said, of course not. I only buy the good ones. I said, then why are you tasting every rotten word people offer you? Reject it just as you reject rotten fruit. Choose only what nourishes you. Protecting your peace doesn't mean you ignore everything in life. It means you learn to filter. You learn to decide, this opinion is useful, I'll keep it. That opinion is toxic, I'll leave it. Just like a traveler filters water before drinking, we must filter words before allowing them into our hearts, because unfiltered negativity can poison our peace. And here's something powerful: when you don't react, when you protect your peace, you are teaching others how to treat you. You're silently saying, I don't give importance to cheap words. I only give importance to respect, love, and kindness. Over time, people begin to understand your boundaries. They realize you are not a toy they can play with, but a soul who values peace above everything. So, my dear friends, remember this: their opinion is temporary, but your peace is eternal. Don't trade something eternal for something temporary. When someone disrespects you, remind yourself, my peace is greater than their opinion. Let their words stay with them. You keep your calm, because peace is not just the absence of noise, it is the presence of strength. And that strength is your true wealth. My dear friends, one of the greatest mistakes we make in life is believing that someone else's disrespect defines us. When someone insults us, mocks us, or looks down on us, we immediately begin to wonder, is it true? Am I really worthless? Do people actually see me this way? But let me tell you something very clearly today: their words do not define your identity. Their words reveal their character, not yours. Think about this. If someone spits at the sky, does the sky get dirty? No. The spit falls back on the person who threw it. The sky remains untouched, vast, and beautiful. In the same way, when someone throws disrespect at you, it tells you nothing about who you are. It only tells you what is going on inside them. Their frustration, their bitterness, their lack of respect for themselves. Disrespect is not a mirror of you. It is a mirror of them. But here's the danger. When we start believing their words, when we let their disrespect sit in our heart, then we carry their ugliness within us. It's like someone giving you a bag of garbage. If you accept it and hold it, who suffers? You. But if you refuse to take it, the garbage stays with them. Similarly, their disrespect is their garbage. Don't pick it up. Don't carry it. Let it stay where it belongs, with them. I'll share a story. Once a teacher entered his classroom holding a glass of water. He asked the students, how heavy is this glass? They gave different answers. 100 grams, 200 grams. The teacher smiled and said, it doesn't matter how heavy it is. If I hold it for a minute, it feels light. If I hold it for an hour, my arm will start itching. If I hold it for a whole day, my arm will go numb. The weight never changed. But the longer I hold it, the heavier it feels. Then he said, disrespect and insults are like this glass of water. If you carry them for a few moments, they won't harm you much. But if you keep holding on, replaying them in your mind, they become unbearable. So the secret is, put the glass down. Don't carry it. No, ask yourself, when someone disrespected you years ago, are you still carrying that glass of water? Are you still holding their words in your heart? If yes, then you are suffering not because of what they said, but because you refuse to put the glass down. The moment you drop it, you are free. Another example. Imagine a parrot. If you teach it kind words, it repeats them. If you teach it fine words, it repeats those too. But either way, the parrot is only repeating what it was taught. In the same way, when people disrespect you, they are repeating what they have inside them. If their heart is full of kindness, they will speak kindness. If their heart is full of bitterness, they will spit bitterness. Why should you take their bitterness personally? It belongs to them, not to you. My dear friends, remember this. When someone disrespects you, it doesn't lower your value. If a person writes a wrong price tag on gold, does it reduce the gold's worth? No, gold remains gold. Its value is decided not by the label, but by its nature. In the same way, your worth is not decided by people's words. Your worth comes from your values, your actions, your heart. Let people write whatever price tag they want. It doesn't change your true value. So the next time someone disrespects you, pause and remind yourself, this is their reflection, not mine. This is their inner world showing itself, not my reality. Don't allow their words to sit in your heart like poison. See it for what it is, a display of their character. And then, with dignity, move forward. Because your respect does not come from their mouth. It comes from your mind, your heart, and your soul. And never forget the most respected people in history. Saints, leaders, visionaries were often disrespected in their lifetime. They were mocked, criticized, laughed at. But today, we remember them with reverence, while their critics are long forgotten. Why? Because disrespect never defines the respected. It only defines the one who disrespected. So walk tall, my dear friends. Let others reveal who they are. But you never forget who you are. My dear friends, let's reflect on this truth. Energy is life. Every morning when you wake up, you are given a limited supply of energy, like a bank balance. Now imagine if someone gave you 1,000 rupees every morning. How would you spend it? Would you throw it on the streets? Would you hand it over to someone who insults you? Of course not. You would carefully invest it in things that bring value. In the same way, our emotional energy is precious. Yet, so often, we waste it on disrespect, arguments, and negativity instead of investing it in growth, love, and progress. When someone disrespects you and you react, you are actually writing a check from your energy account to them. You are saying, here, take my peace, take my joy, take my focus. And the irony is, they don't even value it. They move on, but you are left bankrupt, drained, restless, and distracted. Now tell me, is that fair to yourself? Think about a gardener. If he spends all his time chasing away crows that come to steal seeds, when will he water the plants? When will he nurture the flowers? By the time he is done fighting the crows, the garden is dry. Similarly, if you spend all your energy fighting disrespect, when will you invest in your dreams? When will you grow your talents, your relationships, your purpose? By the time you finish arguing with people, your inner garden may already have dried up. Growth requires energy. To study, you need focus. To work, you need concentration. To build relationships, you need patience. To meditate, you need calmness. But when disrespect eats your mind, all these things suffer. You sit to study, but your mind is replaying an insult. You go to work, but your energy is wasted in proving yourself. You sit with loved ones, but you're absent because your mind is still arguing with someone in silence. And slowly you realize disrespect stole not just your peace, but your growth. Let me tell you a story. A man once came to a sculptor and asked, "How do you make such beautiful statues from stone?" The sculptor replied, "It's simple. I remove all the unnecessary pieces. Whatever is not needed, I cut it away. And then the statue appears." My dear friends, in the same way, growth in life is not just about adding things. It is about removing unnecessary distractions. And the greatest distraction is wasting energy on disrespectful people. Remove them from your attention, and your beautiful potential will emerge. Here's another perspective. Imagine a student preparing for exams. One day, a classmate insults him in the corridor. If he spends the entire night planning how to reply, what happens? He loses study time, his grades drop, and his future suffers. But if he ignores the insult and continues studying, he invests his energy into growth, not into revenge. Years later, who will succeed? The one who kept reacting to insults, or the one who kept investing in growth? My dear friends, we often complain that life is short. But the truth is, life is not short, it is just often wasted. We waste it on anger, on ego, on meaningless battles. If we stopped pouring energy into these fires, we would have enough to light the lamp of our own growth. So the next time someone disrespects you, pause and ask yourself, do I want to give them my energy, or do I want to invest it in myself? Remember, every time you react, you are making them richer and yourself poorer. But every time you ignore, you are saving your energy to build, to rise, to grow. Let us learn from a tree. No matter how many stones people throw at it, the tree does not stop growing. It still gives shade, it still gives fruit, it still gives beauty. Because the tree knows my purpose is growth, not argument. Your purpose too, my dear friends, is growth. Don't let disrespectful people turn you away from that purpose. Protect your energy like a treasure. Guard it carefully. And always remember, energy wasted on disrespect is energy stolen from your own future. Choose to grow, not to react. My dear friends, we have walked together through some deep reflections today. We spoke about barking dogs and burning fires. We spoke about silence, about boundaries, about guarding our peace. We spoke about growth, energy, and the wisdom of not reacting to every insult. And through all of these, there has been one golden thread: the truth that disrespect only has power if we give it attention. Let me ask you, if someone throws mud at you and you stand there catching it, who becomes dirty? You. But if you keep walking, the mud falls to the ground and you remain clean. In life too, if we stop for every insult, every criticism, every mocking word, we lose our dignity, we lose our direction. But if we keep walking, if we keep shining, if we keep growing, then nothing and no one can rob us of our peace. Always remember, my dear friends, you don't have to attend every battle you're invited to. Not every noise deserves your voice. Not every disrespect deserves your reaction. Sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. Because ignoring is not weakness. Ignoring is wisdom. Ignoring is choosing peace over poison. Ignoring is valuing your growth over their opinion. So from today, let's make a promise to ourselves. The next time someone disrespects us, we will not lose our calm. We will not trade our peace. We will smile, we will breathe, and we will rise above. Because in the end, your life is too precious, your peace is too sacred, and your journey is too important to be disturbed by those who don't even know your worth. Keep walking like the elephant while the dogs bark. Keep shining like the sun while the clouds try to cover it. Keep being yourself, because nothing they say can change who you truly are. Thank you, my dear friends. Stay peaceful, stay strong, and most of all, stay true to yourself.